That little device in your pocket, the one you've already checked a dozen times today, is keeping a secret. We all love how helpful it is. It gives us directions, news, weather, a connection to our family. It feels like a brilliant and loyal assistant. But that convenience comes at a price you were never told you were paying. Your phone isn't just helping you, it's watching you. It's silently, meticulously building a dossier on your life, noting every habit, every worry, and every place you go. And you're not the only one reading it. This secret dossier has a name. Professionals in the data industry call it a pattern of life profile. It's a minute-by-minute diary of your existence, built from your phone's own settings, and it's a goldmine for the most sophisticated scammers in the world. They aren't guessing who you are anymore. They're buying the instruction manual to your life. The good news is, you can stop it. You can make your life a closed book again. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to build what we call a data wall, ensuring your private life stays private. So how does it work? It starts with a setting that's on by default in almost every smartphone. On an iPhone, it's called Significant Locations. On Android, it's Location History. It sounds harmless, like it's just there to help you with traffic or map suggestions, but behind the scenes, it's building a hyper-detailed map and timeline of your most frequented places. It knows the address of your home, your doctor's office, your church, your grocery store. It knows where your kids and grandkids live. You might notice your battery draining a little faster and just think the phone is getting old, but that's often the first and only sign that your phone is working overtime, logging your every step. Next is a setting that apps ask you about all the time. On iPhone, it's Allow Apps to Request to Track. On Android, it's called Ads Personalization. When you allow this, you're giving apps permission to gossip about you. They share information about what you read, what you search for, and what you buy with each other, and with an entire hidden industry of data brokers. It's all linked to a unique advertising ID, a digital name tag tied directly to your phone, and by extension, to you. This is how your phone knows to show you an ad for a new medication right after you were searching for health symptoms. It's connecting the dots about your life. The final piece of the puzzle is a feature called Background App Refresh. This allows your apps to keep running and sending information back to their servers even when you aren't actively using them. While it seems useful for keeping things up to date, it's also a constant open backdoor for data leakage. And here's the thing, these three settings don't just work in parallel. They work together. They feed into each other to create that pattern of life profile, a document so detailed it knows your daily rhythms better than some of your closest family members. It knows when you're home and when you're not. This is the moment that changes everything. That detailed profile, full of your locations, your health concerns, your financial searches, is collected, bundled, and sold legally to data brokers. And scammers buy that data. This is why the scams are getting so much more personal and believable. The person calling you isn't just a random voice in a call center. They know things. This is the chilling realization. That spam call wasn't random. They knew who you were before they even dialed. Let me tell you about Barbara. She's a 72-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. Barbara was sharp, and she was nobody's fool. She knew all the standard advice. She never gave out information over the phone and always hung up on suspicious callers. But the scammers who targeted her had an advantage. They had purchased her pattern of life profile. They knew she had a sister, and they knew that she visited a specific hospital in her town every Thursday afternoon to see her. This wasn't a guess. It was a data point logged by her phone's location history, week after week. One Thursday, as Barbara was walking to her car in the hospital parking lot, her phone rang. The caller ID showed the hospital's name and number. The man on the line was polite and professional. He said, "I'm calling from the billing department about your sister's account." Because the call matched her exact location and her immediate personal context, Barbara's natural defenses were down. The call felt real. It felt logical. She had no reason to believe she was standing in the middle of a digital trap sprung by her own phone's data. Over the next hour, the scammer convinced her that there was a critical billing error with her sister's insurance and that an immediate wire transfer was needed to prevent the account from going to collections. They created a sense of intense urgency and fear. Because they knew so much, Barbara believed every word. She drove to her bank and sent them $7,500. It was only when she spoke to her sister later that evening that she realized the truth. She wasn't tricked because she was careless. She was trapped by a sophisticated operation that turned her own loving routine into a weapon against her. And Barbara's story is not an outlier. It's part of a terrifying and rapidly growing trend. According to the FBI's latest elder fraud report, financial losses for victims over the age of 60 have skyrocketed, exceeding $3.4 billion in a single year. That's billion with a B. This isn't a niche problem, it's an epidemic. And the reason it's growing so fast is because the data fueling these scams is becoming more and more available. Your personal life is now a product being sold to the highest bidder, and the bidders are criminals. What's worse is that the threat is evolving. Scammers are now taking these pattern-of-life profiles and combining them with other technologies. They aren't just making phone calls. They're crafting intensely personal phishing emails that mention your recent doctor's visit or a store you just went to. They're creating fake social media profiles that seem to know your friends and hobbies. The most dangerous hybrid variant combines your life patterns with artificial intelligence voice cloning technology. They can now create a scam call that not only knows where your grandchild is, but sounds exactly like them, crying and asking for help. So how do you possibly defend yourself against an enemy that knows you this well? You don't fight them on their terms. You cut off their supply of information at the source. You don't need to be a technical genius to do it. You just need to know where the switches are. It takes about 5 minutes, and it is the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself and your family from this threat. We are going to build what I call the data wall, and we're going to build it right now. The core principle of the data wall is simple. Your phone does not need to know anything about you that isn't absolutely essential for what you are doing in this exact moment. These data collection systems need a constant stream of new information to keep your profile accurate and valuable. When you build the data wall, you are cutting off that stream. You are starving the system. The scammer's picture of your life goes from a live video feed to an old blurry photograph. You become a ghost in their machine, and they move on to an easier target. Let's build it together. Grab your phone. The first step is to disable your phone's location diary. If you have an iPhone, go to Settings, then Privacy and Security, then Location Services. Scroll all the way to the bottom and tap System Services, then find Significant Locations and turn it off. On an Android phone, go to Settings, then Location, then Google Location History, and turn it off. This is the single most important switch. This is what stops your phone from logging the map of your life and telling scammers where you'll be next. Second, we build the tracking wall. This stops apps from sharing your behavior with each other. On an iPhone, go to Settings, then Privacy and Security, then Tracking. Make sure that Allow Apps to Request to Track is turned off. This is your global no. For Android, go to your phone settings, then find Google, then tap Ads. In that menu, you'll see an option to Delete Advertising ID. Do it. This breaks the link between your activity and that digital name tag that follows you across the internet. Finally, we seal the backdoors. Go to your phone's general settings and find Background App Refresh. Turn this off for any app that you don't need immediate up-to-the-second information from the moment you open it. A good rule of thumb is this. If it's not a messaging app like WhatsApp or a map you're actively using for directions, it probably doesn't need this on. Your news app, your shopping apps, your games, they can all update when you actually open them. This stops them from quietly sending out your data when you're not even looking. But what if you hear all this and you're thinking, it's too late, I've had these settings on for years? What if you're worried your data is already out there? First, I want you to take a breath and let go of any shame or fear. These systems are designed by some of the most brilliant engineers in the world to be invisible and confusing. Being targeted is not a reflection of your intelligence. In fact, it means the scammers identified you as a good, trusting, and cooperative person, exactly the kind of person they are professionally trained to exploit. Your data may be out there, but you are not helpless. Your goal now is damage control and monitoring. Here are 2 simple, concrete steps you can take in the next 10 minutes. 1. Sign up for a free credit monitoring service. A service like Credit Karma is a good option. It will alert you if any new accounts are opened in your name, which is a major red flag for identity theft. 2. Call the number on the back of your debit or credit card and ask them to enable fraud alerts on your account. This is a free service that will text or email you if there is any suspicious activity. These 2 steps create an early warning system. They put a guard on duty who will watch your accounts for you 24/7. And there's one more thing you should do. If you believe you have been the victim of a scam, report it. You can file a report with the Federal Trade Commission for free at reportfraud.ftc.gov. Doing this helps law enforcement identify the patterns and shut these operations down. Taking these steps means you are no longer a passive victim. You are actively defending your territory and helping protect others from the same threat. Now that you have this knowledge, you are a protector. You see the threat that most people around you still don't. So take a moment and think. Who is the most important person in your life that needs to hear this? Is it your spouse who uses their phone for everything? Is it a close friend, a neighbor, or your brother or sister? Picture them right now, answering their phone with a friendly, trusting, "Hello," completely unaware that the person on the other end might know every detail of their last 48 hours. They need to know what you now know. They need this protection. Please take a moment right now and share this video with them. Sending it to them isn't just about sharing a video. It's a genuine act of protection. It's looking out for the people you love in a world that has new and invisible dangers. It's the digital equivalent of reminding someone to lock their door at night. This is how we keep each other safe in a world that is changing faster than we can see. It's how we look out for each other,